You're making more money than you did 5 years ago. Maybe not a fortune, but more. And yet, somehow, you feel broker than ever. It's not in your head. And it's not because you're irresponsible. There are 3 fees you're paying every single month that have nothing to do with your rent, your groceries, or even your taxes. They're silent. They're invisible. And they're engineered to stay that way. I'm not talking about some hidden bank charge you can call customer service about. I'm talking about systemic costs that are baked into the way we live now. Costs that don't show up on a receipt. Costs that feel like choices, but aren't really choices at all. And here's the thing that bothers me the most. These fees don't just take your money, they take your future. Because every dollar you lose to these silent fees is a dollar that never compounds, never grows, never builds the life you actually want. It just disappears. So let me show you what's really happening. Let's start with something you probably did this week without thinking twice about it. You ordered food, or you paid for same-day delivery, or you grabbed a rideshare instead of waiting for the bus. Maybe you bought something on Amazon because walking to the store felt like too much effort. None of these are bad decisions on their own. But here's what most people don't realize. Convenience has become a subscription model for your entire life. We're not just paying for convenience anymore. We're paying a tax on our own exhaustion. Think about it. 20 years ago, if you wanted food, you went to the store or you cooked. If you needed something, you drove to get it. There was friction. And friction, annoying as it was, saved you money. Now, friction has been removed. And every time friction disappears, a fee appears in its place. That delivery fee isn't just $3. It's $3 multiplied by every time you're too tired, too busy, or too overwhelmed to do it yourself. And the companies know this. They've studied your stress. They've monetized your lack of time. Here's a number that should make you uncomfortable. The average person in the U.S. spends over $1,500 a year on food delivery alone. Not the food. Just the fees, the tips, the markups. But it's not really about the food, is it? It's about the fact that we're all so squeezed for time, so drained from work, that paying someone else to do basic things feels like the only way to survive. And that's the trap. Because the convenience tax isn't optional when you're exhausted. It feels mandatory. You tell yourself, I'll cook tomorrow. But tomorrow, you're just as tired. So you pay again and again. And the fee becomes part of your life. Now multiply that across everything. Grocery delivery, laundry pickup, task apps, subscription boxes that send you things you could buy yourself for half the price. But the mental effort of remembering feels harder than just letting it auto-ship. We've outsourced our lives, and we're paying a premium for it. And here's what really gets me. This fee grows with your income. The more you make, the more you're willing to pay to save time. Which sounds smart, except that time-saving payment never actually buys you more time. It just keeps you on the treadmill. You're not paying for convenience. You're paying because the system exhausted you first, then sold you the solution. Okay, now we need to talk about something a little more uncomfortable. How much are you paying every month to be the person you think you're supposed to be? I'm not talking about rent or utilities. I'm talking about the subscriptions, the memberships, the services you keep because canceling them feels like admitting something about yourself you don't want to admit. The gym membership you haven't used in 4 months, but you can't cancel because you're someone who works out. The streaming services you're barely watching, but cutting them feels cheap. The premium software. The subscription boxes. The apps. The classes you signed up for with good intentions. This is what I call the identity subscription. You're not paying for the service. You're paying to maintain an image of who you think you are or who you want to be. And companies know this. They've designed their pricing models around your self-perception. Here's how it works. They make it easy to sign up. Frictionless. One click. Then they make canceling just hard enough that you have to confront an uncomfortable truth about yourself. If I cancel the yoga app, does that mean I'm not health conscious anymore? If I downgrade my Spotify, am I poor? It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but that's the emotional math happening in your brain. And it's costing you. The average American has 4 to 5 active subscriptions they don't use regularly. That's roughly $50 to $80 a month. Almost $1,000 a year. Gone. But here's the deeper issue. This isn't just about money. It's about identity debt. You're paying to avoid the discomfort of admitting that the person you wanted to be and the person you actually are right now aren't the same. And that gap? That's where your money disappears. Because the truth is, canceling a subscription doesn't change who you are. But not canceling it doesn't make you that person either. It just makes you broke while pretending. I think a lot of us are spending money to perform a version of ourselves that we don't even enjoy being. And the worst part? The system is designed to make you feel like cutting these things is failure. Like living within your means is admitting defeat, but it's not. Letting go of the identity subscription is one of the most honest, powerful financial decisions you can make. Because it means you're finally living as yourself, not as the person Instagram told you to be. Now this one is subtle. And it's the most expensive dot every day. You're making hundreds of micro decisions about money. Not big ones. Little ones. Should I buy this? Is this worth it? Can I afford it? Do I need it now or later? Each decision feels small. But your brain doesn't work that way. Every financial choice you make, no matter how minor, uses up mental energy. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. I call it decision debt. And just like financial debt, decision debt compounds. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're at the store. You pick up something small, $5. You stand there for 30 seconds debating whether to buy it. You're not just spending 30 seconds. You're spending mental bandwidth, energy, focus. Now multiply that by every purchase decision you make in a week. Every swipe. Every add to cart. Every time you check your bank account and feel that little spike of anxiety. That mental cost, it's real. And it's expensive because decision debt doesn't just drain your energy in the moment. It affects everything else. You come home from work and you're too mentally exhausted to cook, so you order delivery. That's the convenience tax kicking in, but it started with decision debt. You're too tired to think about canceling subscriptions. That's the identity subscription feeding off your decision debt. You see the pattern? These 3 fees don't exist in isolation. They feed each other. And the more depleted you are, the more you pay. Here's what really bothers me about this. The modern economy runs on your exhaustion. Think about it. Every app, every service, every easy payment plan is designed to reduce friction for spending and increase friction for saving. It's easier to buy something on Amazon than it is to transfer money to your savings account. It's easier to subscribe than to cancel. It's easier to pay for convenience than to plan ahead. And all of that is by design. Because when you're tired, when you're overwhelmed, when you're mentally drained, you spend more. You question less. You just pay. And that's the third silent fee. You're not just losing money. You're losing the mental clarity to even see that you're losing money. So, what do? Here's the shift that changed everything for me. I stopped trying to optimize every decision and started designing systems that removed decisions altogether. Because the goal isn't to never pay for convenience. It's to stop paying the invisible tax on your exhaustion. The goal isn't to cancel every subscription. It's to only keep the ones that serve your actual life, not your imagined one. And the goal isn't to never spend money. It's to spend it consciously, so you're not haunted by a constant low-level anxiety about where it all went. Let me give you a practical example. I used to spend about $40 a week on food delivery. Didn't feel like much. But over a year, that's over $2,000. I didn't stop ordering food. I just added one rule. I could only order delivery if I'd already planned and skipped a meal I intended to cook that week. Sounds simple, but it created just enough friction to make me think. My delivery spending dropped by 70%. Not because I became some meal prep warrior, just because I made one intentional decision that removed 100 smaller ones. Same thing with subscriptions. I didn't cancel everything. I just set a calendar reminder every 3 months that said, "Review subscriptions." Keep what you actually used this month. Half of them were gone within 6 months. I didn't miss a single one. Here's the thing. You can't fight decision debt by making more decisions. You fight it by making fewer, better ones. Automate your savings. Seriously, if you have to decide to save every month, you won't. But if it happens automatically, you never feel the loss. Batch your decisions. Pick 1 day a week to plan meals, review spending, check subscriptions. Don't scatter it across every day. And here's the biggest one. Give yourself permission to live smaller than you're supposed to, because that pressure to keep up, to subscribe to everything, to have every convenience, that's not coming from you. It's coming from a system that profits when you're too tired to resist. Let me make this really concrete. Start with the convenience tax. Look at your bank statement. Highlight every delivery fee, service charge, and convenience upcharge from the last month. Add it up. I'm not saying stop using these services. I'm saying see the total, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Then ask yourself, is this worth it? Not in a judgmental way, just honestly. If the answer is yes, keep it. If it's, I guess, that's where the leak is. For the identity subscription, do this. List every recurring charge. Next to each one, write the last time you actually used it. Not when you intended to use it, when you did. If it's been more than 30 days, cancel it. You can always resubscribe later if you actually miss it. But I'm willing to bet you won't. And for decision debt, the fix is simple but not easy. Reduce the number of money decisions you make. Automate as much as possible. Set spending limits on categories. Use cash for discretionary spending if that helps you feel it more. The less you have to think about money in the moment, the more mental energy you'll have for everything else. And that energy, that clarity is worth more than any subscription, any convenience fee, any of it. Here's what I want you to take away from this. You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're not struggling because you're lazy or undisciplined. You're struggling because you're living in a system that's designed to extract as much from you as possible while making it feel like your choice. The convenience tax, the identity subscription, decision debt, these aren't accidents. They're features. But once you see them, you can start to opt out. Not perfectly, not all at once, but gradually, intentionally. And every dollar you stop losing to these silent fees is a dollar that stays with you. A dollar that compounds. A dollar that builds the future you actually want instead of funding the one someone else designed for you. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to cut out everything. You just need to be aware. And intentional. Because the truth is, freedom doesn't come from making more money. It comes from keeping more of what you make. And that starts with seeing where it's really going. If this resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you found value here, leave a like. It helps more people find this, and honestly, more people need to hear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.